Good morning, boys and girls. Today's writing lesson is going to be very different from all the narrative writing that we've been working on, because today what we're going to work on is something, we're going to try to think about our book from yesterday. Do you remember what book you read yesterday and you retold it? Goldilocks and the Three Bears, okay? And at the end of our story, if you remember, Goldilocks gets so scared from the bears finding her sleeping in Baby Bear's bed that she jumps out the window and she runs away into the forest and nobody ever sees her again. So I thought it would be fun for us today to think about, where did she go? Where did Goldilocks go? So what you are going to do today, it's kind of like making a prediction or making a guess about where we think she went. And there's no way to be wrong or right about this because nobody knows where Goldilocks went. So we are going to write a sentence today, and I'm going to give you two choices on how you can write it. So you can say, I think she blah, 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 wherever you think she went, or Goldilocks went blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to show you the two different ways you can write it, and then we're going to talk about how when you sound out the rest of the words that you want to write, you have to write a letter for every sound that you hear, okay? So my first choice was I think, okay, I think she. So I'll give that to you on the website so that you can copy that part. And then the rest of it, you're going to have to sound out yourself. So I think she, I'm going to say, I think she went home. That's what I'm going to say. I think she went home. So the word went is a sight word. So that word we have to spell correctly, okay? So that word is W-E-N-T, right? We talked about that, right? Because went is W-E-N-T, right? So I think she went. All right. So now I have to sound out the word om. Om. There are three sounds that I can hear in that word. So you have to write at least three letters because that's how many sounds that you hear. So is what? It's H. And do you notice how I didn't try to squeeze it in over here, right? I ran out of space. So I came back down here. I swept back. O, right? The letter O comes next. And then after that, I have a sound. O, is the letter M. So for those three sounds, that's all we really heard. So make sure that you write at least three letters for the three sounds you hear. Now, some of you might notice that doesn't look right, right? There is another letter in the word home, but what I'm looking for is that you write a letter for every single sound you hear, because now you guys know all of your letters, right? So I think she went home. So I'm going to put a period at the end there because that's the end of my sentence. It tells me to boop, stop, right? So that's option number one, where you can start with I think she, and then you can fill in the rest. The other way you can write this is you can start it off with her name, and her name is Goldilocks. And because it's her name and it's the beginning of a sentence, I'm going to start that with a capital G. I'm actually going to write this in a different color so that you can see it differently, okay? So Goldilocks, and again, I'll put this part on the website for you so you can copy it. Goldilocks went, right? Another word, went. And remember, went is a sight word, so W-E-N-T. Goldilocks went. And I'm going to make this one a little bit silly, okay? I think, Goldilocks went to the mall. Maybe she went to the mall, right? So Goldilocks went to the mall. I have to write three more words, to the mall. And to help me remember we talked about this strategy where we write the lines of how many more words we have to write. So Goldilocks went to the mall. These next two words are sight words. So again, anytime it's a sight word, you have to spell it right. So Goldilocks went to the. Okay, now I'm at this next word where I need to think about the sounds I hear and how many there are, and I'm going to write that many letters. So, all, all, Okay, I'm going to put an M. Now this one's a little bit tricky after here. All. It kind of sounds like an O, but it also kind of sounds like an A. I'm going to tell you that it is an A, okay? But if you heard O and you wrote O, it's okay because that's what you heard. So, and then that's an L, right? So now that's all I heard. I heard 3 sounds, so I wrote 3 letters. So now my sentence says, Goldilocks went to the mall. And I put a period to stop my sentence, right? So now it's your turn, boys and girls. I want you to get creative. I don't want you stealing my ideas. I don't want you to write that she went to the mall because that's what I think. I want you to think of something different. It can be super silly. It can be serious. It can be whatever you want. If you think Goldilocks went to the carnival, write about that, okay? So make sure that you're spelling your sight words correctly, that you're starting your sentences with capital letters, you're ending them with a period, and the most important part today is that for every sound you hear, every single sound, you are writing a letter. All right, boys and girls, I will see you soon. Bye-bye.